Well, what is going on, gang? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. It is very nice to have you here today. I've got something on the table that arrived just yesterday. I've carried it today, last night, today. Now I want to share it with you. These came out about a year ago from the folks at AM8 or Ameight Knives, which is a division of Migaron Knives, of which I am a huge fan going back about 5 years. This is the Prayer. I'm going to do a video on this here pretty quick. I realized the other day I've never done it, but we'll talk about that later. The Kovog here is M390. It is all titanium with a really lovely carbon fiber inlay. The milling, well, let's see. The milling on this is very similar to the Ekri, which is another, as you can see. They just do this one. I've carried enough to put some scratches on it. Same size screws, very similar in overall shape. Both of these are front flippers. But whereas the Ekri has a very sort of traditional blade shape, the Kovog here, I love that sort of almost Persian-esque saber-style cleaver blade. I love this thing, and look how pokey that is. This is a fantastic little knife. Now, the Kovog, as I said, came out about a year ago. It's been reviewed before. For those of you that are, really active members of the community, you've probably already seen this, but I missed it. And so this came, and I'm very happy to have it. Let's talk about what you get. First and foremost, these are about $170, which for a full tie, running on bearings, it's milled on both sides. Interesting blade shape, which I've been using. It's dirty. You really kind of can't go wrong even at 170. Let's get the specs out of the way, then we'll weigh it, do some size comparisons. You know how things go around here. It is not a big knife. I want to get that out of the way first, but let's get the blade specs out of the way. You get 2.7, 2.8 inches of cutting on 3¼ inches of that M390. The grip area, now it does have a nice sharpening / forward choil just at the base of the plunger. We'll talk about that in a sec. Grip area from basically where this choil ends. I can talk. 1, 2, 3, just about 3½. So for me, my finger is just at that end. But you can come forward. The choil is large enough even for my big old fingers. So if you're going to work up close, you can really do that. And of course, this blade shape is great for that. It has a relatively high grind. And by the way, look at the bevel on that cutting edge. Sam really knows how to do that stuff in his factory. And so this thing is razor sharp, has a lovely bevel, beautiful blade. It is satin here with sort of a belt sand finish on the flats. You can see that difference. It's really nice. It's got a little hole there for style, and also you can open it. That's actually my favorite way to open it. I'm not a huge, I like front flippers, but this is a really aggressive front flipper. I'm not sure. Anyway, nobody asked me, and so I really prefer to just do that. Let's get the rest of the specs out of the way. Knife tip to tail, you are looking at 7½, basically. A little short of 7½, but not much. The in the pocket profile is, it's got this horn because of the shape of the blade, but let's go ahead and line that up. You're looking at a little over 1¼ inch at its absolute thickest spot. However, because of the way this is designed, that thick edge, right, is going to be at the back of your pocket on the right side. You can carry this lefty. There's no spot for a lefty clip, but as with all things, with enough energy, anything's possible. It's mostly a right-hand knife. Anyway, you're going to have that in the pocket, but it's going to be up and out of the way of things that are in the bottom of your pocket. The flipper is crowned and nicely shaped. It's got a little bit of jimping right here. It does front flip really well, by the way. It's just not my favorite way of opening a knife. Knife overall, from tip to tail, you got to take into account the little mohawk there. You're looking at 4¼ inches. Not bad. It's, as I said, it's reasonably small. Here's the thing. I'm not a huge small knife guy, but Sam over at Miguron and Ameight has just been bringing fire on these smaller knives lately. And, you know, I'm a fan of well-made to begin with, so it's hard to find fault in any of the stuff he's put out recently. Let's do some size comparisons, shall we? Now we'll get that lined up. How about our old friend the Bug Out, just for giggles? As you can see, the Kovog is almost identical in overall length to the Bug Out. They are very similar in the pocket experience, although the Kovog is obviously a little heavier than a Bug Out. What else do we have on the table? Oh, let's go old school. Let's move this up. How about a Rat 2? One of my least favorite knives of all time. I know, everybody loves these things. This is the most uncomfortable knife in the world to me, and I don't know why. Anyway, I mean, I do know why, but it doesn't matter. As you can see, the Kovog is a little bit bigger than a Rat 2. Here is my Hill-modified Rat 1, and as you can see, it is just dwarfed. The Kovog's just dwarfed by a Rat 1. This is a small knife, and yet I really like it. It is got a little bit of shape to it, but overall it's very neutral in hand, right? And because of this, how wide it is, by the way, look at that lovely backspacer, right? Nice and milled out. Milled clip. This is just neat. Anyway, because of the way this thing is shaped, even though it is a little short for my hand overall, it's very comfortable, right? And you can really get your finger forward for draw cuts. It's very nice that way. Of course, you can do cuts this way. And it is just pokey enough that if you needed to give something just a little nudge, it would absolutely do the job. Let's weigh it, see what it comes in at, shall we? I don't think it's going to be that heavy. It doesn't feel that heavy. And as I mentioned, there's milling on the inside of those scales. I don't have a light set up for you to check that out right now, but it's there. Here is our cheap-ass scale. It is coming in at about 3 3/4 ounces, 3.73 ounces. I know that's a little bit over the ounce per inch that people so love, but man, I'm not going to complain. It's below 4 ounces. It is, as you can see, it's just a nice sized little knife. Very nice to work with. I'll put a link to, I actually saw these on Amazon, so I'll put a link up on the description. Like I said, I can talk. So you can find one of these for yourselves if you're interested. I got to tell you, for less than $200 for these materials, with this much attention to detail, I mean, look at the milling on that. And the fitment of the CF into that scale. There is no bumps, lumps, gaps, or holes. It's just lovely. Anyway, this is the Ameight Kovog, a Sam design. I love it. I think you might too. Feel free to check one out if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, as always, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. We'll see you next time.